Okay, so again, this deals with SA, it deals with child abuse. If this is not for you, please move on. No hard feelings. We're waiting for my biological mother to give birth because she has had such a hard time. Again, I'm schooled really well in history, but not modern culture. So when my grandmother shakes me awake violently, because again, I'm on so many drugs trying to cure the demon that is lesbianism, I'm just half there. And I remember her grabbing and slapping me and just shaking me violently awake. And I remember saying, What is it? What's wrong? What's happened? And my grandmother is screaming, they bombed the World Trade Center. And I remember saying, what is the World Trade Center? And I remember she hit me. And I remember it had become so commonplace to be hit in the face that I just went. And she ran out of the room. It was a real shock to me because I really wanted to go into the military. I really wanted to go. They said with all my problems I wouldn't be able to get in, so my idea of enlisting and becoming a beloved, like, freaking hero that way didn't work. But this was different. I really wanted to enlist. And I remember I got dressed and I came out and my grandfather's just sitting there, staring off into nothing. And I'm asking, what happened? I don't understand. Just shut the hell up. But I don't understand. I don't want to talk about it. And me, again, it was all about offensive strategy, surviving an apocalypse. Like the demon army of socialists are going to come in and start killing Christians and stuff. So when it comes to strategy and things like that, that's where I was pushed. So I'm like, okay, well, strategically, what does this mean? This means we're going to war, undoubtedly, right? And no one would talk to me. And I was just like, we didn't have cable at the time, so we just heard about it. Like every year my grandfather would get a Dish Network St. Louis Cardinals package to watch, but I remember going over and seeing my mom because she was sick. And she was just a mess. I mean, of course. I mean, she's incredibly pregnant. Down here. And all of a sudden, this world that was okay and it was relatively fine and things were getting better. I mean, and now everything gets thrown into question. Are we going to war? Are we safe? Where do they hit next? Are there more of them? What's the plan? Really took a toll. And I remember the next day, early, they wake me up and go, she's having the baby. So we got dressed and the in-laws were there and they were so they were always so happy to see me. No one was ever happy to see me, but they were. And I always loved them for that. But I remember we were seeing her in the hospital and stuff, and they told us all, look, you kids stay out here. So my brother is very small. There's 4 years between us. So I'm 13, he's 9. And everyone's waiting and waiting. And again, this is September 12th, 2001. I had been in that hospital a lot. I had been accident prone. I had been in that hospital before, and I never heard a hospital so quiet. It was deathly quiet. There weren't newborns crying. There weren't nurses chattering. It was dead. And they were like, you got to keep the TVs off and stuff. And like, keep Austin away from the TVs. And I was like, no problem, no problem. And I thought, God, what a time to have a baby. And the nurse comes out, and I'll never forget this as long as I live. My little brother and I ran to the door because we were so excited to see this baby. And the nurse said she wants her kid to come see the baby. And I raced to the door, and I'll never forget the entire family doing this circle around me. And the nurse putting her hand out and saying, no, she said there was just one boy. She just wants her children. And I remember I looked back at everybody, including my in-laws, and there aren't words to literally being told, no, you are not her family. You are not her child. I remember I walked to the edge of the obstetric, of the end of, the delivery section, and sat down in a waiting room and watched people jump out of the building that was on fire. And I never felt so alone in my life. Not one person came over, hey, look, she's just going through it. I didn't have one person, fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. She doesn't deserve you. Not one, I'm so sorry. They all stayed over there. They wanted to see the baby. And I remember sitting there watching people jump out of that building. And I had never felt so alone in my life. I never felt so isolated. Because Americans have this very interesting syndrome where a national tragedy doesn't happen to you, it doesn't happen to your neighbor, it happens to me, and it happens to me alone. So I deserve all of the soothing. And we really have that in this country. Joe and Beth don't go through a tornado. I go through the tornado. They just happen to be around. But what I went through, and I noticed that everybody in my family started taking 9/11 personally. And it became very, it's very weird. But I remember thinking, my country's falling apart. I'm watching human beings kill themselves on national TV. I can't sign up to go to the military to help. Because of all the meds I'm on, and I'm young, I can't donate blood. My own mother doesn't want me in the delivery room to see my baby brother first. I have no place in the universe. And I think that feeling has set with me since then. Because it didn't matter after that what I said. I was wrong, and I was stupid, and I was simple, and I was evil. Everything I said. Well, why can't I donate blood if they need blood? Nobody wants it. Stop making this about you. Would you sign my enlistment papers if I go in once I graduate? They wouldn't want you. Should we volunteer? Don't you think you should be looking into a real job? There was nothing I could do. And I'll never forget my grandfather making them play that footage of people jumping to their deaths all day in that hospital room while my mother was holding her newborn. And I went, we're fucked as a family. We're fucked.